Sometimes I question whether this shit matters. Putting substance into something in the world so used to instant gratification. I found this instrumental on my phone while on vacation. Eve sent it a year ago or so. I probably heard it before, but slept on it, you know. Shit don't always connect as soon as you press play. At times you gotta step away, do some living. Let time provide a new prescription, giving truer vision. I dibble dabble in a few religions. My homie constantly telling me about Quran, putting me on. I read a few pages and recognize the wisdom in it, but I ain't got the discipline for sticking with it. Now I'm on the way to London, got a show for 7 digits. I'm wondering just when did I become my biggest critic. I wanna be my biggest fan, like how I was when didn't nobody know my jams. Today my son said, Dad, let go my hand, reminding me one day he's gonna be his own man. And my job is to make sure he's equipped. I gotta make sure he not no bitch, cause niggas bound to try him. If I said I was the toughest growing up, I would be lying. I had a fear of getting punched while everybody eyeing. Add to that a constant fear of dying by gunshot wound or other violent type of illness. I kept a tough demeanor on the surface, but was mostly just pretending. Luckily my bluff was working way more often than not, but sometimes a nigga pull my card, trying to expose me for a fraud. And with my reputation at stake, I was scuffling just to save face. Couple wins, couple losses, some broken up, too quick to call it. My last scrap was with Puff Daddy, who would've thought it? I bought that nigga album in 7th grade and played it so much, you would've thought my favorite rapper was Puff. Back then I ain't know shit, now I know too much. Ignorance is bliss, and innocence is just ignorance before it's introduced to currency and clips. Or bad licks that have a nigga serving 3 to 6.
I survived my first semester as a high school teacher. Now I'm halfway there. Like Kobe said, you rest at the end, not in the middle. Job finished? I don't think so. Job not finished. It's your host. I'm Jokos. I'm just here to document my memories and see where life takes me. Being a teacher is definitely not easy, especially as a first year. There's always something to do. Always, 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 always. There's the grading, there's the lesson planning. Oh my goodness. But I'm just so glad that we have a curriculum at the school that I'm teaching at, because if there was no curriculum, I would be all over the place, honestly. The classroom management, I have a good group of students this year. There are a few students who do give me a hard time and make my blood pressure go up. Other than that, I'm happy with the students that I have this year. Some of them really test my patience. Other than that, I've been going with the flow. I've been going with the flow. My coworkers are very nice. They're very helpful. Admin is also very helpful. So it's not a bad it's not a bad experience, but it's not all sunshine and rainbows, guys. It's really not. So why did I want to become a teacher? Why am I putting myself through this? Well, 1, because I care. 2, my math teachers were not so great, although I did have some really good teachers. Shout out to Miss Slope, shout out to Sebastiano. My experience in the math classroom wasn't the greatest, and I thought that I could do a better job. I'm trying. I have a lot of spare time on my hands. It's not like I'm raising a family of 3. I'm just chilling right now. It's just me in my apartment. I don't really have to worry about cooking for my 4-year-old or taking little Bobby to the hospital because he just got an infection. So when I craft my lessons, I craft them to where I believe my students have the maximum potential of gaining the most information from that lesson. That is the most time-consuming part of teaching, especially when you're first starting out, is creating the lessons. Our school, we only have 45 minutes. So it's like, okay, 5 minutes is already for the do now. Let's say 10 to 15 minutes where we're taking notes. Then for the next 15 to 20 minutes, it's either them doing it on their own, us doing it together, them doing it in a group, we're doing an activity, something online. Just depends on the day. The hardest part is trying to figure out, is this too much? Is this too little for the 45-minute block? I don't know. So we'll see what happens when I go in tomorrow. Today is the last day of semester 1. So we're just testing. So it's a pretty light day. All I really have to do is just show up, give them the test, grade it, and then we're done. I actually took a pay cut coming into this profession. Before working in education, I was a pizza boy at zoo parties in West Haven. So I lived in West Haven for 2 years. I was making more as a pizza boy than working as a teacher. And here's why. I'm not talking about the gross income. So for example, at zoo parties, I worked maybe 35-ish hours a week, and I just showed up to my shift, did my job, and left. That was it. I am taking a pay cut because I'm working more hours. Even though we get paid salary, I'm putting more time in. It's not like zoo parties where I just go, show up, make pizzas, and then dip. That was easy. This is not. It's fun though. Like, it's not all just grading, it's not all just misery. Like earlier this month, we had a teachers versus students game, and little do they know that I played basketball in high school. If you're from Ansonia, okay, you know I know a little something. I know a little something. And I'm always the shortest one on my team, so I always come up with creative ways to score and get to the basket. I also watched a lot of basketball. No one there could guard me. The fact that they had 2 players on me every single play shows you that I was unguardable. They had to double team me. I turned into prime Kyrie Irving. They call me the Hispanic Kyrie Irving where I'm from. Oh, and the parent conferences. Some of the parents were asking me about my age, and they were shocked. They were like, no, you can't be 22 years old. How are you 22? Wow, you're so young. How are you a teacher this young? Wow, Miss Lady. I went to Southern Connecticut State University, New Haven, and got my 4 years, and now I'm here. 02 gang, Gen Z. We are not that far in an age gap, me and my students. We use a lot of the same terminology. It's interesting. I can connect with them in some ways. It's gonna be a light day. I'll show you around, see what it's like, and we'll go from there. So today is the official last day of semester 1. And at this point, I'm just gonna straight up grade and put the grades in before it's due so I can get this weight off my shoulders. Our deadline is in a few days, but I'd rather get everything done now so I don't have to worry about putting grades in during the new semester. The way we do it at my school for our midterms is that we operate on a early dismissal schedule. So, kids come in for the first block, take their first exam, then they stay for the second block, do the second exam, and then the leftover time is used for study hall and the lunch waves. If you want to be constantly busy, then you should become a teacher. This right here is my best friend for teaching and planning. So the way I did my planning for semester 1 was through this app called GoodNotes. I'll pull it up on the screen so I can show you guys, but I do it by day, and each period has their own little column. So whatever that's highlighted, that's stuff that needs to be printed. Whatever's in red is homework. I like to color code everything so I know what needs to be graded, what needs to be printed. And then the hardest part is just trying to predict how long the lesson would take. So if they need more time, that's gonna go into the next day. If it ends early, you gotta figure out what you're gonna do to supplement that time. And I also use it during my lessons as well. And a quick room tour. So this is my room, have my objectives up here. American flag, smartboard, and there we have it. Over here I have the schedule, so students aren't constantly asking me what time do we leave, what time is lunch. Got the calculators on the side of the room. Some students just throw their work in there, notebooks. Then I have a few projects in the back of the room. This was all before Thanksgiving. Maybe we'll switch it up in the next semester, but we'll see how that goes.